Morning, hockey fans. Yesterday, we only had two games on. We had Detroit against Colorado. Colorado handily won that game. Then we had Minnesota and Florida, which was a pretty exciting game. Minnesota had the lead late in the third and allowed Florida to tie the game, and then Florida actually ended up winning the game with a late game-winning goal in the third period. So one win, one loss there yesterday. On to today's games. We've got the Vegas Golden Knights against Boston. Boston 4-3-3 in their last 10 with a current one-game losing streak. Their last loss was against Pittsburgh, where they actually had a 3-goal lead, and they allowed Pittsburgh to come back, tie the game up, and then allowed Pittsburgh to actually win the game. Against the Vegas Golden Knights, who have got their own issues going on with some coaching changes. They're currently 5-4-1 with an overtime decision with a loss. Their last game was a loss to Montreal in a shootout. Fleury in net for Vegas Golden Knights, Halleck in net for Boston. I think that Boston's going to be pretty upset about that last loss to Pittsburgh. They're going to come out and realize they got to keep that game going. They can't. Every time they let off, I think that's how they lost to Pittsburgh. Where if they stopped their aggressive play, Pittsburgh was just too good. And but I think they're going to be pretty upset. I'm going to take Boston to beat the Vegas Golden Knights. On to the Battle of New York. The New York Islanders against the New York Rangers. The New York Rangers currently 5-5-0 with a current one-game losing streak. They lost their last game to Columbus 2-1. Against the Islanders, who were 3-5-2 with an overtime decision where they lost their last game to Carolina 2-1 in a shootout. Islanders have definitely fallen off a bit here and don't seem to be able to get it together again. But I am going to take the Islanders to get back on track here and to beat the New York Rangers. Georgiev in net for the Rangers, Varlamov for the Islanders, and again, the Islanders to beat the New York Rangers. On to the Winnipeg Jets against Carolina Hurricanes. Carolina Hurricanes are currently 5-4-1 in their last 10 with a current one-game winning streak. They beat the Islanders 2-1. Winnipeg Jets, their last loss was to Chicago 5-2. They're 4-5-1 with a current two-game losing streak. Winnipeg being one of those teams that seem to be hot and cold, and you don't know what team's going to show up. Although I do think that they will show up tonight. They do have a ton of talent on that team, and a lot of good skaters, guys who know how to put the puck in the back of the net. I'm going to take the Winnipeg Jets to beat the Carolina Hurricanes. Hellebuyck's in net for the Jets, Mrazek in net for Carolina Hurricanes, Winnipeg to win the game. On to the hot Pittsburgh Penguins, who are 7-2-1 with a current two-game winning streak. Their last game was when they beat Boston 4-3. Against Philadelphia Flyers. Philadelphia, good team. They're 4-5-1 with a current one-game winning streak. Their last game was they beat the LA Kings 4-1. Elliott's going to be in net for the Flyers against Jari for Pittsburgh. I know most people probably think Pittsburgh on this game, but Philly is such a good home team. They play great hockey. I'm going to take Philly to beat Pittsburgh in Philly. On to the last game. The last game, we've got Florida against the Chicago Blackhawks. Chicago Blackhawks currently 7-3-0. Both these teams have the same record, actually. 7-3-0 in their last 10 with current 5-game winning streak. Same as Florida, 7-3-0 with a 5-game winning streak. Florida is going to have Monteblanc in net against Lanner for Chicago. Chicago's last game was when they beat Winnipeg 5-2, and Florida, obviously, last night when they beat Minnesota 5-4. Chicago's still at home. I think Florida's going to be a little bit tired. I mean, they've been playing great, but I like the Blackhawks here. Kane scoring his 1,000th point, which is just awesome. To review those picks, I'm going to take Boston to beat the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm going to take the New York Islanders in the Battle of New York. I'm going to take the Winnipeg Jets to beat the Carolina Hurricanes. Philadelphia Flyers to beat Pittsburgh. And the last game, I'm going to take Chicago to beat Florida. Hope everyone has a great day. Good luck with your picks.